So here at the Thornbury Surfacing Stadium after today's game against Welling, Mike, last week we stood here after the Hastings game and asked for a response from the players. We certainly got something.
Yeah, not what we wanted, to be honest. I didn't think it was too bad first half, for what we were trying to do in training and stuff like that. But second half, we can't give away, two individual goals like that you're just struggling as soon as it goes down to 3-1. But even then we've had chances to get back in the game with the missed penalty and a couple missing from not very far out, which you'd expect on another day to nestle in the net. So yeah, a bit disappointing.
Yeah, as we've always said, Mike, games change on big moments. The first goal, the ball's broke down the left-hand side. They managed to cut in. It's a great finish from the lad, to be fair, credit to him. We get ourselves back in it at the stroke of half-time. Great free kick from Adam Mann, flashed across the other side. It just seemed that when we come out for the start of that second half, it only really looked like it was going to be one winner. We had the chance early doors, and then, lo and behold, they got at the other end, and like you say, two mistakes have punished us.
Yeah, and at 1-1, we get that chance where it should be a goal, basically, and it's not. They go up the other end sort of a couple of minutes later. And over this last sort of 3 games we've been punished for that, so it's not great, but we have to either knuckle down and get on with it, and we'll either make changes to the team or we'll have to make some changes to the structure of the way we play, because the way that that was going second half was not for us really.
No, I mean, we like to try and look at the positives as much as the negatives. Obviously the negative being the result today. Nobody likes losing games, especially at home in front of your own fans. But Danny, fourth return to the side today. First 90 minutes I've seen put under his belt. He looked a little bit like a bright star in that sort of first. And to be fair, in the second half, getting forward, you sort of show a little bit what Danny Greenslade's about. Yeah,
I think when he gets 100% fit, which won't be for another few games yet, then I think we've definitely got a player there. There was one or two out there today that did a lot better than what they did last week as well, which is not saying much. But to be fair to them, at least they've shown a little bit of resilience about them, and they're prepared to get their foot on the ball. So, I mean, when we've had all that possession in the first bit of the second half, and we haven't made that pay as well, you just get that horrible feeling they're going to go at the other end and score, which is what they did do.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, without meaning to make excuses, there's never a lot of ease with teams coming down here, especially teams like Welling that, with respect, don't really have much to lose at this point. We're only their second victory of the season so far this year, the other being a 2-1 win at home to Concord. I think they've picked up a point elsewhere. Again, it's different territory for us really as a team to be the ones being shot at, coming into the game as potentially favourites for this one. It's not quite worked out the way we wanted to today, but again, moments and flashes, it doesn't get much easier.
No. And we talked about it last week, handling a bit of pressure when you're up near the top, and likewise in the Cup last week, we were the league team that was above them by a couple of leagues. So there's a different pressure, and at the moment we're not handling that pressure, and there's a little lack of confidence. And when you're the coach and your manager, you're the one who's put the team out there, so you've got to take responsibility for that. There's things that we work on training that you think's going to work on to the Saturday. That again hasn't really come to fruition in the second half, especially today. What I will say that from Peter Taylor's point of view, he's definitely going to have a little effect on that team, and he's got 2 or 3 players in, and they made a bit of a difference today as well. So. From our point of view, we've got to be better, and that's what we told them about. They're not going to be coming there, a team that are absolutely deflated because they've had 2 or 3 signings. They picked themselves up, and at times today they played all right, to be fair to them. So, but it's just disappointing from our point of view from the performance.
Yeah, we do. I forgot to mention that in the preamble as well. Obviously, when the management changes in clubs, the ethos tends to change as well. We saw the same thing with yourself when you came in. Great run of results, and obviously it elevated them. Last week they had a tricky game, but they've come here today. They look like they're full of beans. They by no means look like a side that were lingering at the bottom of the division. And I suppose for just a little bit of a name drop, how many times does a former England international manager come and manage the Thornbury Surfacing Stadium?
Yeah, and that's definitely a Peter Taylor effect on that as well. And he brings that wealth of experience, not just for every professional club that he's either played at or managed at, but he's well averse to the non-league scene as well. So I just think that definitely had a major effect on them today, and if we'd have just took those chances, the early goal was what we wanted to take. It just knocks the stuffing out of them a little bit, and it didn't happen for us today. And then once you start chasing your tail, it is tough, but you've got to pick yourself up. And I've been in this position before when we've been away and we've got some great results. It's just that playing at home at the moment, it's not working for us, so we'll have to do something about it.
Yeah, and obviously moving on to the lighter notes. Obviously next week we do make a return to the road. We've had very good form on the road so far. In fact, I don't think we've been beaten away from home so far this season. 2 draws against Dulwich and St Albans, and 2 wins against Slough and Concord. Today, we've seen Eastbourne's result come through. They've turned over Maidstone 2-0 away from home. Next week it's at their place against Eastbourne Borough. It's on that 4G surface. It's always been a happy hunting ground for Chippenham Eastbourne, but we go there in a very, very good away form. So if any chance we've got to pick ourselves back up again, we've got to look for those.
Yeah, and we've played well on AstroTurf as well over the last sort of couple of seasons, so we train on it on the Tuesday and the Thursday nights as well, so we're well averse to playing on it. We probably play a little bit more football on there, and today that was a bit more pleasing from us to play a bit more football than what we went to direct last week to try and get back in the game. So you're right, it's disappointing, but we're still in the top 10, I believe, which is a great achievement for us. If we're there at the end of the season, that will be unbelievable for us. So it's certainly not all doom and gloom, but it hurts when you go on a bit of a bad patch and you're not quite doing it, and you've got to take it on the chin and you've got to put things right about it, or else, what do? Do you give up?
Absolutely not, and I don't think any one of us would want to see you do that, Mike, and certainly not for yourself and your staff that have worked so hard. I say it's very difficult sometimes to suggest that runs of form, they can be little bad patches that you run into, but I know that you're going to do your very best to go out there and change that. I mean, it was only a few short months ago we were looking at some absolutely impeccable form that were taking us to very, very dizzy heights of where we were coming out of a bad relegation spot. Again, start of this season, we put ourselves in a very, very commendable position, up until this point, and I certainly don't think that there's any need for alarm bells. Eastbourne next week, it's a new challenge, but we've got games coming thick and fast, and just how quickly as this league can throw you a couple of bad results, we can get some good ones out there as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, thanks for that as well, Simon, because it's it does make a difference when we're talking. There's a lack of confidence in that room at the moment. We need to pick them up, and if we're just going to be shouting and bawling, and we don't want to be doing that, we want to be saying, look, it was only a couple of weeks ago we got a great result on the road to Concord. We just got to get back to that as soon as we possibly can. Hopefully over the next couple of weeks as well, we'll get Alex Bray back as well. We've really missed him, actually. If you look at the results since he's been out of the team, it hasn't been great. So over the next 2 weeks we'll have a look at ourselves, we'll have a look at what we're doing and the players, and then we'll make some changes on that as well, I think.
Excellent. Well, commiserations for today, Mike. Obviously defeat is never easy to take, but I know that you're going to go out there and do everything right during the week, and hopefully we'll see you at Eastbourne next Saturday and put things right for ourselves.
Great, thanks, Simon.
Top man.
Cheers.